Hey Diz, let's talk about the cognitive health crisis, or the mind crisis. I saw this video recently and I think it's really emblematic of where the American right wing has to go. Because the American right wing, at some point, is going to know that Trump screwed them. And they're going to rationalize it away and not deal with how they put themselves in this position. And I think this guy, Nate Cornacchia from Valhalla VTF, he's kind of in the Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes part of the right wing. Not currently in power, but I think pointing to where they need to go to avoid responsibility for their support for Trump and for believing in MAGA politics. And what I think is worth meditating upon, thinking about a little bit, is the combination of him having some level of sophistication and yet how vulnerable he is to propaganda. He will say something along the lines of, if the president says something isn't true, if Fox News says something isn't true, then it's true. Leaving a blind spot, they just tell you something isn't true when they want you to believe that something is true. That's how that works. And another one is, despite identifying American institutions as deeply corrupt, manipulative, coordinating propaganda, he can't say that the problem is in America because he's America first. So the problem has to be Israel. And putting aside that, one reason I think that that's a silly approach is that Israel will get screwed by this. If the United States gets knocked down a peg from world hegemon, what's happening to Israel will be much worse and more humiliating than that. The United States will still be one of the global poles of power. It won't be the hegemon anymore. What's coming for Israel is something much more dangerous. And the United States hasn't been a good friend of Israel to promote all of its most psychopathic, violent, delusional instincts. The United States has been a bad friend to encourage this for going on 60 years here. Anyways, listen to him move through this account of the CIA raiding Tulsi Gabbard's office for information about the JFK assassination and MKUltra. And he will move through it being a distraction, but it won't end up there. He's going to end up where he actually thinks you should pay attention to this. And also note how he will identify how obviously corrupt the United States is, but it's because of Israel, okay? If it wasn't for Israel, we wouldn't be like this. It's not us. It's Israel that's making us do this.
We got the president setting up fake attempts on him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The alien files have been released. Now we have the CIA raiding Tulsi Gabbard's office. Just a lot of distractions, it feels like. And what's the big distraction today? Well, Fox News, yes, the world's leader in unbiased, objective, non-state propaganda journalism, we promise, came out with a story last night, breaking story, that the CIA had raided the office of Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, and stole all of the files pertaining to JFK and MKUltra. Absolutely wild story confirmed by Representative Anna Paulina Luna. And the story absolutely exploded just for Tulsi Gabbard to come out and say that it was completely made up. Now, that's where the story gets a little bit odd. Because when Jesse Waters first broke the story, I immediately thought to myself, well, this is obviously fake bullshit. But now that Fox News, Anna Paulina Luna, and everyone involved is panic walking this story back, trying to make it look like this never happened, and to make the story even more bizarre, Jesse Waters has now deleted that video off of his own X account. Interesting. So where are we at with this story now? Did this happen? Did this not happen? Is it fake? Is it real? Is it a cover-up? because we have dual reporting coming out currently as of literally right now still about this story, right? You got over here, breaking, CIA just raided Tulsi Gabbard's office. Holy smokes. Then you have the DNI spokesman coming out and saying, this is false. The CIA did not raid the DNI's office. And then all of us who initially immediately said, well, this is obviously fake because Fox News and Jesse Waters are saying it's real. Well, now we've kind of switched on this, as you see here from Patriotic Blanche. He says, pro tip, when the president says the CIA has not and did not raid the office of Tulsi Gabbard today to steal JFK and MK Ultra documents, that equates to the CIA most certainly raided the office of Tulsi Gabbard to steal JFK and MK Ultra documents. So what's real, what's not, I don't know. I will say that I do think that probably President Trump and his good friend Bibi do not want whatever is in these files actually coming out. I do think there's a pretty good chance that Tulsi Gabbard may have started to declassify these and immediately went, oh, maybe we don't want to let the people see this. And they might be saying, well, why might Tulsi Gabbard be protecting this? Why might she not want this to come out? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because this is her crew. Maybe, I don't know. Just something to think about and take into consideration while we're looking at this.
So you see him bringing up distractions and ending up wanting to pay attention to them because maybe there's something real there. He thinks there is. He encourages his audience to think that there is. If Fox News says something isn't true, then it's true. And this creates a little bit of space. Just enough to stave off the cognitive dissonance. Just enough to keep doing the same thing. Because this is what they've been doing for 70 years. What they can never do is focus on the American elite. They can focus on immigrants. They can focus on black people. They can focus on trans people. They're going to increasingly focus on Jews going forward because they're going to turn on Trump eventually. Because this war with Iran is going to do things that they can't ignore. You know, if some liberal gets shot in the face in Minnesota, they don't care about that. If some children are being abused at the border, they don't care about that. If some people are being bombed overseas, they don't care about that. But if the price of gas is going up, that's something they can't ignore, and they do care about that. They do care about their food prices going up. And they're going to need a narrative to get out from under the MAGA Trump derangement syndrome. And that's what Israel and Jews are going to provide to the American right wing. I'd give it somewhere between 2 to 10 years for the full pivot to happen. It will give them a soft landing so that they don't have to reflect on their own responsibility for the deterioration of this country and of things that they care about.